What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast. I'm your host, Mark. Welcome to the show. Look, we got a lot of good feedback on me doing this last week, and so I'm going to keep doing it. I'm bringing you to just watch me read now because this show is secretly about literacy. But last week I started doing this. I thought this would be fun. I'm just going to go through some of the hot deals that we run in the ad because, you know, we all love a deal. As a member of the Dixie Bandits, this speaks to me on a cellular level. So I love, look, I'm sure we all love doing this. We go through the front page. So we got a bunch of stuff on sale this week. Eckrich Meat's back in the news. They're going to now be on my show, it feels like all the time. We got bologna on sale for $3.49 a pound. Deals, look, you love seeing the strip steaks for $7.99. And I don't know what it is. The strip steaks are always good here, but for whatever reason, whenever they run the sale on it, it's always better. But I picked a couple items that I was actually excited about. So I saw these. This one was a last ad at the minute. I saw that we had these frozen egg rolls on sale, and I saw one of the flavors was shrimp. Now, I love a shrimp egg roll, but there's a part of me that has a little bit of fear in his voice when you say frozen shrimp egg roll. So I made that. I'm going to try that in a second with you. Those come from Imperial Garden. But the other one I was really excited about, these came in recently in international, these mini arancini. If you haven't had these before, arancini, they're like little risotto balls. They roll them in breadcrumbs. And this one has, for example, there's usually a little stuffing in there. The center has a little mozzarella cheese and tomato sauce, a little margarita style. So we're going to try those in a second, too. I also brought in, we got a ramen giveaway today. Oh, wait, what is this? Does this have the name of the winner of this week? Oh my gosh, it does. The winner of this week's ramen giveaway is Gabrielle Francis 9437. That would have been embarrassing. I'll respond to you on YouTube, and then you respond to me, and we'll get it set up so you can come pick that up. Congratulations. But moving on, we're still got ramen in sale, right? So if you didn't win, these little cups, I picked Shin because I love the Shin, and Shin Black in particular is a go-to, but they're doing 10 of those for $11. That's a steal of the century. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this paper now. Let's dive in there before we go too far on that. I also want to talk about the Shilajit that came in, but we got to try this because, I was excited too. All right, let's go arancini first. So, again, risotto. There's like a little bit of a breadcrumb roll on the outside, and then they cook it in. I air fried mine. I'm an air fryer fan. You'll find out more about that with today's guest too. Ooh, setting up the clip. Oh, yeah. Aha. Okay, so I saw on the package, I saw a little picture of saffron flour. I didn't read the text. It says it's with saffron. So there's like a saffron rice filling in here. And then you get that nice little rich tomato and some cheese. That's pretty awesome. I think they were like $2 off this week. It was $5.99 a bag. I saw we had at least two flavors over there. There's also one that's like more like a Florentine. It had ricotta and spinach in it. I'm going to eat those when we're done recording. But the real one, I got to take this one for the team, guys. Little 99-cent frozen egg roll action. You deserve the crunch. I know I was being a little snarky about that. I don't know why I have an aversion occasionally to packaged frozen seafood. I don't know what it is. That doesn't mean I'm right. And you're probably laughing at me for feeling that way. But, again, I thought I was like, was this going to be weird? It's actually kind of awesome. I love a good shrimp egg roll. Put both of these in the air fryer. That came out crispy as hell. 99 cents. Stack it up. Hey, if you buy a bunch of any of these egg rolls, if you buy an absurd amount of them, send me a picture. podcast@junglegyms.com. I'll put you on the show. That was really good. I was excited about these too, mostly because my French, high school French knowledge, whenever I see petit déjeuner, I get very excited. I'm a breakfast fan, and that's what it means. We have a bunch of these different, they're like little cookies. What cracked me up on the back of the box, it's like, experience the original and delicious Italian breakfast. To get the day off to a great start, we need taste, energy, and a well-balanced nutrition. With Bolocco, you enter the world of made in Italy daily breakfast to have every day a rich and healthy breakfast time. I love the translations. And on the back, it says here, you should have 7 of these biscuits, 1 cup of cafe latte with sugar. Oh, that's a pretty American drink. I'm actually surprised they're like, you should have it that way, because if I recall from our episode about visiting Italy, they were like, maybe a little cream. That's about it. We're not sweetening our coffee over there. So anyway, and 1 slice of pineapple or ananas, because again, we're still in high school French. But this one was lemon. So let's see what we got here. These are all on sale this week, folks. Ooh, that's fun. It's like a little biscuit cookie. Here, we'll try a little piece of that too. That rules. Simple, a little buttery, slightly sweet. Nice lemon flavor on that one. They had other flavors too. I just love a lemon treat. Damn, those are good. Okay, great. Highly recommend that. Damn, that was awesome. Okay. See, that's what I love about this place. And we'll find these sort of things. We'll try them out, see what's up, and then you can try them out and you can tell me if I was wrong. Because that's what the internet is designed for, is just being mean to other people. Like, I don't agree with you. Well, you don't have to agree with me, because I'm always right. Now, I brought one other thing out here. Let me move the food out of the way. That I'm going to pretend I'm not eating later on. I brought this out because I was talking to our natural foods department, and we have healthcare, holistic healthcare, all that kind of stuff. And I was talking to Alicia and Cindy over there, and we got this new product in that's been like making the rounds. I keep seeing posts about it online. It's called Shilajit, excuse me. And let's talk about it. I'm just going to read this straight off one of the promo things from Black Lotus. So we have a couple versions of it here. I have a tincture version that you can take. This one is just raw in capsule form. And then last but not least, this is from a different brand. Both brands make it, but this one actually comes from Ohio. It actually manufactured here in Cincinnati. Crazy. And this is a soft resin, which means that you can actually just take it straight up. So let me just read, because you're going to do the same thing I am. Now, it's spelled Shilajit. Comes from the mountains. Shilajit is a black resinous substance that seeps out of the cracks on mountain rocks at extremely high elevations. Lunch. It has been found in the highest mountain regions of the world, in areas surrounding India, China, Tibet, Nepal, Pakistan, Scandinavia, and Central Asia. Essentially, it's the organic minerals of a compacted and composted ancient forest, which was trapped within the mountains as they formed millions of years ago. Okay, that sounds actually pretty epic. Somebody write me a sweet rock opera based on that sentence. There's a little more in here. It's been revered throughout many cultures as a mighty rejuvenator, preserver, and enhancer of the body. Now, I've heard a lot about it being really great for restoring energy, rebuilding strength. They have it all in here. Regain clarity, maintain balance. I also have heard rumors that it's good for virility. If you're out there trying to love on someone. I thought that was going to be a problem as I got older. And I'm like, no, so far so great. That's amazing. So yeah, better add to it. But these brands in particular are fair trade. Everything's third-party lab tested in the U.S. It's pure. It's sourced from the pristine Altai Mountains in Siberia. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It has very high levels of fulvic and humic acid. Listen, here's what I'm thinking, guys. And I don't know if you like this idea or not, and you don't really have to. But you can let me know always. Again, podcast@junglegyms.com, or slide in DMs on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But my plan is I want to try this for like a month and then post my results, and I'll do the company in. Look, Black Lotus, I've reached out to you directly. I'm going to hit up Omnipotent since you're local. Maybe someone will help me out. I'm just going to try. Listen, throw me a month's worth of samples so we can try this. We'll do a whole episode after the 4th week. You can come on. You can peddle your wares, and I will give you honest feedback. Seriously, I'm down, and I won't be mean about it. I'll be very sweet. I always am. Cool. So that's what we got going on in the deals. Of course, I want to remind you all, International Wine Festival coming up November 11th, baby. It's going to be great. And while I'm talking about that too, since Halloween's coming up next week, I'm going to announce I'm going to do a next giveaway. I'm going to fill a giant pumpkin bucket of Halloween candy, and not just any Halloween candy. I will definitely give you some of the US stuff, but that's not where the fun's at. I'm going to bring you some of my favorite international holiday treats too. So this could be some European chocolate, a couple other things. We're going to pack that baby full. So for those of you who, want to be like Gabrielle Francis 9437 this week and win a bunch of stuff from me, it's really simple. Every week on the show, I'll announce the new prize. I'll announce the winner first. I will announce what the new prize is, and then you have until the Tuesday before the next release, since episodes come out on Wednesday. So 6 days, to be very clear, to enter the contest. And to enter the contest, I'll make it super simple. All you got to do is subscribe to Jungle Jim's International Market on YouTube, and then I'll have you leave a comment on the video with the giveaway. So for this week, you're going to leave a comment on this video and just tell me something nice you learned about the show. I mean, you could just write a comment. I don't want to discourage low-effort comments, but everyone keeps saying, don't discourage low-effort comments. I'm like, I'm here to build an audience, and if you're just like, ramen, you're probably gonna, well, I mean, I'm using a randomizer, so I guess you still could win. But I'd rather be smart. I'm like, come on, let's have some fun. I want to make friends with you all, and we can find out what you like, and then we can cater the show to you. It's kind of cool, right? You get a custom product out of it. It'd be great. So anyway, we're doing candy next week, so get excited for that. And every Wednesday at 2 p.m. thereabouts, we will jump in on a TikTok live stream. You can follow us at Jungle Jim's Markets there on TikTok, Jungle Jim's Podcast on TikTok, rather. Depending on which way you look, it'll take you to the same page. There's only one account for us. But I will often do a live stream where I let all of you help me pick what goes in the basket. So not only am I giving you free stuff every week, but I also want you to be a part of picking it. It's pretty cool, right? Good stuff. Okay, let's move on. This week's guest, I'm excited about this. Heather and I connected kind of on and off a long time ago. And you hopefully know her by her, quote, real name, the Food Hussy. She's won Guys Groceries games. She's a food influencer. And, I teased you about the air fryer thing. She's got an air fryer cookbook that just came out. So I wanted to have Heather in here, and I was just sort of curious about her life, curious about working with Guy Fieri, which she corrected me on the show. Thanks, Guy. Guy, when are you coming to visit us at Jungle Jim's? Everyone, just start tweeting at Guy Fieri to come into Jungle Jim's. We love his car. We love his hair. I mean, he and I clearly have a similar wardrobe, or at least taste in wardrobe. Let's do it. But anyway, I want to introduce you to Heather, the Food Hussy. I always love these. These are the best intros on the show, Heather, where we just come in live and everyone guess. Guess what we've been talking about. But let me introduce Heather Johnson here, better known as the Food Hussy, in my opinion, right?
That's 100% my name.
Well, Heather, tell me Food Hussy. Tell me your. I hate when I bond with a guest this quickly.
I know, it's terrible.
Tell us who you are. I mean, I know we got the cookbook out here. Yeah. I'll show this up to my camera. And then you've got one.
Oh, okay. Hi. So yeah, my name is Heather Johnson. I do have a real name. But I go by Food Hussy. And everybody always wants to know, like, where did you get Food Hussy? And I used to call my friends Hussy all the time.
Yeah, it's a good word.
And then when I started a blog, my friend was like, well, what are you going to call it? And I was like, Food Hussy. Like, it just blew out of my mouth. And then it was like, now it's been that forever. So,
oh my gosh.
But I've been doing this since 2009.
Wow.
So I'm like an old lady blogger. I mean, I'm an old lady and I'm an old lady blogger.
Listen, best of both worlds.
But it started out as restaurant reviews.
Yeah.
And I did that for a long time, and it made me fatter and poorer.
Perfect.
And so I
feel your pain.
I decided I should cook a little. And then I realized I could make money if I cooked. And so then I started making money. And I went from working for an advertising and marketing for 25 years.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I quit my job. And now I sit on my couch and I cook and I hang out with my dogs all day.
That sounds incredible. Okay, let's not bury the lead. What kind of dogs?
I have a big, dumb black dog.
Yeah.
She's just a big ogre. And
we love an ogre in this house.
She's 14 and she's not doing very well. So, and then I have a 11-year-old long-haired red wiener.
Yeah.
Whose name is...
I was like, awkward pause. I'm like, all right.
Whose name is Wiener.
Oh, perfect.
Because my ex-husband said, I want to call him Wiener so I can say to people, hey, you want to pet my wiener?
And it works, right? You're like, yes, I do. Like the begrudging sigh of everyone.
So everybody laughs when they're like, what's his name? And I was like, Wiener. And they're like, really? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
His name is Wiener.
Oh, so okay. So there's a lot of fun happening in the Hussy household.
Exactly. Casa de Hussy. That's what we call it. I got rid of the husband, though. So now it's just Heather and friends.
Perfect. Yeah. Sorry about his loss.
Yeah, I know. Well, when you don't want to put up with somebody doing fentanyl every day in your house, it's, you have to move on.
I've heard horrible things about that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's one of those things.
I like that. I think we have a very we have a deep understanding of each other emotionally right now already.
It's just you let it roll off your back. Sure. It's like I mean, everybody goes through shit.
For sure.
And I've been through my fair share.
Yeah.
But I'm like a weeble. Like I don't know how old you are, but we're probably of the same genre and age range.
Class of 83.
I turned 50 this year. And so I'm old. But like weebles, we had them when we were kids, and you just push them down and they bop right back up.
Right. You all have probably seen these before in one of the shows that forces retro aesthetics on you, like a Stranger Things or one of those. Yeah, they were great though.
Yeah, they're little.
It was like a little punching bag with
a thing, and you knock them down and they pop right back up.
Right.
That's what I do.
I think that's a great way of looking at it. I kind of feel the same way.
Kick me down and I just go, bing, I'm still here.
Yeah, somebody has to be that person.
That's me.
But what I like though is that you, and again, I keep saying this as we bond over this, but it's like what I like about you, it's something I see in myself too, is just that you're taking these maybe potentially traumatic experiences. I'm saying potentially for the audience's sake. I don't know how to word things. I'm from the 1900s. I'm trying to word everything properly. But
terribly traumatic experiences.
Yeah, right. But you're coming back and you're doing something fun and positive, and you bring a good energy to the room. I mean, look, we've been hanging out here for conservatively 10 minutes, and
we're
it's already fun. Yeah, I know. I was going to say, you're stuck with me now.
Well, it's one of those things. I was just coming up with like a speaking engagement idea as far as like to submit to conferences. Yeah. And I called it From Hot Mess to Six-Figure Success.
That's amazing.
Because like literally I was a disaster.
Sure.
In my personal life and in my work, like I hated my job and I was in this marriage with a drug addict, and I thought about.
I'm sorry to laugh. I'm just I love this.
But I mean, I literally
thank you for the honesty.
I was at a point where it was not good.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm alone, but I have my dogs and I have this great house that I bought during the pandemic, and I work for myself, and I'm so happy, and I'm making a lot of money, and I'm like, I did pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a pretty excellent version of the finish line.
Yeah.
Like, I'll trade every person I've ever met if I could be at home with Bark Morrison right now and have money. So, sorry, friends. You just didn't click share enough on my post in the last 15 years. You're cut off. The dog wins. He shares everything. Look at his social.
But it's so funny because people talk about like when I was able to quit my job.
Yeah.
I put in my notice and was going to quit August 1st. And then I was like, July 1st. Then I was like, June 1st. But when I left, it's like now people come to work, and they're like, oh, it's Monday.
Right.
And I was with my best friend at home in Iowa last week, and she was like, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. And I was like, I have to write about stuffed peppers. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't really relate to your stress anymore.
I had a similar awakening during the pandemic for this, and things were going cool already for me. But like, I had that moment of I booked a couple of really high profile commercials, and I remember everyone around me, like the world was like collapsing and crumbling, and I'm just like, no, Pepsi just hired me to lead this campaign. I'm sorry you're having a bad time, right? But it was like that happened, the Jungle Gyms podcast. That's why I met everybody here. So I very much respond to these kinds of things in those moments. I love it so much to see that. And I'm hoping, look, part of the reason I like talking with people like you is that I'm like, hey, someone's going to hear this story, and it's hopefully going to inspire them to not be one of those people who wakes up every day. I hate Mondays. I don't even know what day it is. Look at this colorful wall. That's where I'm at with it. I was like,
like my life and my brain. This colorful wall is like how I react.
Yeah. I'm like, I had to go to a job where I'm like, I'm allowed to play with a lightsaber all day long, and nobody's going to be mad about it because they're on sale right now in the toy department here at Jungle Gyms.
I know. I like take naps half the time. I mean,
That's
I nap
amazing.
every day. People
Listen, maybe you can help guide me in my career. What am I doing wrong?
Well, first of all, you need a couch in here because
for quality napping.
Yeah,
that's
a 15-minute power nap is never a bad thing.
You say that like you didn't step over my air mattress under the table.
I missed it.
Okay.
Can I take a 15-minute break?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We'll just do it live on the show, though. I'm like, for the next 15 minutes, I'll be playing like nice. I'll bust out my saxophone over there. I haven't touched it in like 20 years.
I would fall asleep instantly. I do have my Red Bull for a reason. I feel like I'm like borderline narcoleptic. So.
Hey, that's okay.
I
Listen,
just might all of a sudden.
That would be. Honestly, it would be. I could use the reviews or the views rather. So by all means, crank it up. Let's do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait.
Okay.
We keep burying late. I know food. It's fine. Whatever. People love this. They listen to podcasts. Listen, the bar for quality podcasts, I've realized, pretty low. Like even my heroes make bad podcasts. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Man.
Yeah. Fun.
A couple things before we buried the lead. So obviously, food was a passion. So like I know you were saying that it was food blogging about restaurants too. When did you switch into how was the transition into home chef?
Well, I mean, I've been cooking since I was a little kid. My dad was like, he worked as a painter, a house painter.
Yeah.
And so from the time I could reach the oven, it was like, have dinner on the table at 5:15. Okay.
Right.
And so I always liked cooking. It was a passion. And then when I moved to Cincinnati from Iowa, almost 20 years ago, I didn't know anybody except my boss, and I wasn't going to go hang out with him.
No.
And so I started going out to eat, and there was a lot of restaurant review blogs at the time, and I thought, well, I have a journalism degree. I can fucking do this.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. And then after a few years, it was like, I started cooking a little more, like I said, fat and poor.
Sure.
I'm like, let's cook at home. And I started doing that. And then like 8-9 years in, I went to a conference and I met this girl, Stephanie, who is one of my best friends. And she has a blog called Plain Chicken.
Okay.
And I met her and she kind of took me under her wing. And I mean, she makes a lot of money on a food blog. I won't say how. She makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But she was like, she's Southern. She's from Alabama, and she does not mince words. And she's like, is this a job or a hobby? Ooh. And I was like, well, I'd like it to be a job. And she goes, then stop messing around and let's treat it like one.
I love it.
I was like, and she would like smack me when I was like taking a picture. She'd be like, stop it. Don't, you need a light right there. Like she just does not mess with me.
I love it though. Yeah, we need those people.
I needed that. And she kind of took me under her wing. I'm going to see her in Destin in a couple weeks. Like, and she was like, okay, if you want to make this a job, not a hobby, then you have to treat it that way. Mm-hmm. And so then I started doing research more, and I upped my photography game.
Yeah.
And I literally went to her house and we took pictures together. Like she would take a picture and then show me what to do. And she was like, what do you have problems with? And I'm like, brown food. Like I had this chicken casserole that's delicious.
Yeah.
It's crap. It's chicken and cream of mushroom soup and sour cream.
Oh, yeah. But not a colorful, bright, yeah, exactly.
And then there's Ritz crackers on top. So it's beige on beige on beige. And
what if I could eat khaki pants?
And I was like, what do I do? And she showed me. And like the pictures are beautiful and it's done a lot better. And so then she would edit and then she'd be like, I would edit. And like I learned much better hands-on.
Sure.
And so we started working together and it took off.
That's so cool.
And then I was still doing restaurant reviews and she was like, you need to stop that crap. It ain't making you no money. And I was like, yeah, but I love it and blah, blah, blah. And then I went home and I was like, it's not making me money. Why am I doing it? And that it's a definite shift when you're like boss entrepreneur from, oh, it's a hobby, it's fun. And I was like, it's not making me money, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So that's when I switched. And now I still do restaurant stuff, but it's more like on my Instagram and my TikTok. I'll go to restaurants and I'll show what I'm eating and stuff like that. But my blog is just all food and I make 6 figures and it's great. And
that's so cool.
Take naps and hang out with my dog.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a huge thing. And seriously, what else could you ask for, truly, right? I mean, I guess you could ask for more, but, you know.
I mean, I would, to make more money, but it's like right now, it's like I'm comfortable and I'm happy and I'm doing my thing. And it's like, I could work a little harder, but it's like, I don't know, I like a nap, like, or I like to get my nails done, or I like to go home to Iowa for a few days.
Yeah, how dare you actually enjoy yourself at all in this nightmare hellscape we've created for all of us on the internet.
I know people are talking about, politics and all the blah.
Boring.
And then they're like, oh, it's terrible right now and things are, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm doing pretty okay. I feel bad because I know it is bad. But I also take time to like, okay, I'm going to volunteer this, during my time because I have it.
It's that weird dichotomy between being like, you're like a good driven person who is aware that the world sometimes is on fire, but also like, this is my hot take. We don't need to be in the thick of that every day, all the time, like we have for like the last 7 years. I mean, the internet is off. I mean, it's funny. I made this choice at some point where I was like, I realized a couple things. I realized that because like I was just sort of doing me. I was kind of like the internet comedian, for lack of a better term. I was like, I don't know where my lane is, trying to figure this out over the last decade, and just seeing everybody devolve into like constantly shouting their opinions and thoughts and feelings all the time on the internet, which whatever, by the way, do whatever you'd like to do on the internet. This is just my personal take. I realized at some point that my opinions, thoughts, feelings don't really change anyone's. It has been 100% ineffective. I've watched people argue for the last 7 years on the internet. It has not worked at all. No one's minds have been changed. If anything, everybody's just gotten harder and harder on both sides. So at some point I was just like, you know what everyone could use on the internet? Someone who's just gonna be like, hey, anyone got access to like 6 chickens I just just came up with a comedy sketch I'd really like to shoot this week. And the answer is yes, I have a chicken connect now.
Nice.
So, but no,
I
it's...
agree completely. I think you get out there and like celebrities want to tell us their opinions on things. You know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care about your opinion. Don't care. I've started to get like, it's been to the point where you get in an argument with somebody and I was just like, listen, I'm not changing your mind. You're not changing mine. Can we just stop and move on and enjoy our lunch?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't want to bicker about.
It's been wild to watch.
Crap.
Yeah, and I think well, I don't know if you've ever gotten these DMs, but I occasionally will get messages from people. They're like, "Why aren't you out there standing up for people?" I'm like, "Because nobody cares, dude. Because this does nothing for the opposition. The opposition is not seeing my post and going, he really made me think today." They don't care. They're just like, "Oh, Mark's an idiot now," right? And the reality is that's how everybody's looking at everybody. And I'm like, this is just not productive. There's no point in me engaging in this. So instead, I'll do what I do yesterday. Bring out a big portable speaker and play the band Cake to a case of cakes, right?
I like
Stupid content, right? Who cares? We need a reprieve. So thank you for being fun. Yeah. It's, or at least try. Look, somebody said to me recently on here, they were like, the bad exists all the time. It's the most reliable thing in existence, the bad things. So when you find good things, you should really try to focus on those.
Okay.
And then it's like, and he's like, and look how that works out. And he was like, you'll see a trend between people who view the world that way versus the opposite way. And he's like, look, these are the ones. He's like, you and I are having the conversation. He's like, you kind of have that attitude. Now, same thing. We're having this conversation. We have this kind of attitude. There's a reason why you're a successful blogger. You're doing your own thing. You're running stuff. And I think it might be because you have figured out a way to seek and find and create your own happiness in this regard. You know, it's tough. We were kind of joking about social media before we started, so I thought I would use this to lean into it. How I was saying, I was like, I hate social media, but I also recognize it's a necessary evil, and you can hate something and still be good at it, you know?
Yeah.
So how's that been for you?
I mean, I feel the same way. Like sometimes it drags me down and the algorithm frustrates you and you're just like, nobody's seen my content. I only got 5 likes on this. But then it's like, oh, well, I just keep pushing it out and it's just there. And you never know when something's going to hit that's going to hit the right person or somebody might. I mean, like, so I was on, gonna brag a little.
I'm excited about this brag.
I was on Guys Grocery Games last year.
Huge Guy Fieri fan.
Oh, Fieri.
Fieri, I'm sorry.
We had a pronunciation lesson before the show.
I love that so much. Listen, Guy, I'm going to keep saying your name wrong until you come to Jungle Gyms. I invite him every time he comes to town. Nothing yet. Well, so when you accept the invite, I'll pronounce your name.
Yeah, you need to be on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Like this place is a whole like hour-long episode.
Oh, can you even imagine?
But we, when I went on that, it started because somebody saw that I had done Guys Trash Can Nachos.
Yeah.
As a copycat. And which my friend Stephanie actually sent to me for my birthday. Aww. Like they have the Gold Belly or whatever, you can send random shit from stores and restaurants.
What a great idea, by the way. I know, right?
She sent me that, and then I did a copycat of it.
Yeah.
And they saw that, and they were looking for contestants for a Home Chef episode.
That's awesome.
Of Guy fans. And so because of a random post on social media, they saw that, and I got to go on Guys Grocery Games, and I won $20,000.
That's so cool.
Yes.
How crazy was that experience? I feel like we've had a lot of Guy Fieri contestants
good job.
Thank you, on the show. I appreciate it. I've been hanging out in the Italian aisle this week. But we've had a good amount of contestants on the show that have worked with him, like Kayla Robinson, Christian Gill's here all the time.
Oh, I love Christian. Christian and I are birthday buddies.
Are you really?
July 19th.
That's adorable.
So,
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'll make sure that we can all share a cake next year. That's great. How insane was that experience? I mean, did you find that was like, did that move the numbers for you as far as like, did it grow your audience at all?
No, because they didn't really say my name on there at all.
That is hilarious.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, I dropped Hussy so many times. I
learned Fieri, and you can't even say Food Hussy.
But
Ted Allen spinning in his grave.
The experience was so surreal.
Yeah.
I cried 7 times during the taping because, and Antonia from Top Chef was one of the judges. She was a host judge that day with Hunter, his son. And she was like, I was sobbing. And she's like, are you crying? Because like, why are you crying? And I was just like, Guy Fieri just said he ate my food and he liked it. And I was just like, it was just so like, I couldn't fathom that I was there and I'm at this soundstage in California and my hero, my cooking hero guy is eating my food and said, which I don't believe him at all, but he said he liked it better than his version. And I was like, you're lying to me, but I don't
thank
care.
you. Yeah. Can I get it in writing?
And he winked at me at one point,
that's
like it was just so crazy.
Yeah.
And then I met great people, like the contestants I was with were still friends to this day.
That's cool.
And just the whole thing was just so crazy. And to think like I had a trailer with my name on it. And, then I came away with the win and the crew is amazing. Like they make that job and that show to make everybody look good. And I'm sure Christian and Kayla would say the same thing. Like the whole experience is he's like, they're like, we're not trying to make you look bad. This isn't that show.
Right.
We want to make you look good.
But what show is that? I'm like, I feel like we should do that show.
But like, we're trying to make you look good. So we're never going to be like, oh, that tasted like crap, And
right.
So it was all about helping you. And so I'm in the process and I'm cooking. And I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's batshit crazy. And
of
you
course.
got this fire. I almost burned down the kitchen. I'm not used to working with fire.
Sure.
Like I'm not used to working on a flame grill. Like
Right.
I was like, whoa! I put something on it, like flames everywhere. I was just like, I burned down the kitchen. But like my camera guy was so helpful to me. He was like, don't you want to put that over on the fryer? Don't you want to use fresh herbs? Like he gives you little hints, and they gave everybody little hints and don't you want to do this? Like don't you want to grab that fresh herb over there? And I was like, oh, I do.
Yeah.
And Guy and Hunter were there. Like if you ever needed something, like when you're running around the grocery store, I'm like, where's the garlic? And they're like, aisle 5, so it was just such a fantastic, amazing experience.
That's so
and
cool.
then to like crush Emily and beat her by 1 point. I have to say it was very, very rewarding. I love Emily. She's very sweet, but I was just like, I have to take this bitch down.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I am here for it. I feel like they don't play up the faux rivalry enough on these shows sometimes. I think that would be a little,
When we were getting our scores and I'd gotten my score and it was down to her. She was the last one and they're giving her critique. And as they kept saying her critique, I knew we were like neck and neck. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to win. Like, because they were like, she was lacking onions. She made fish tacos and she didn't have onions in there. And they're like saying these little minor things.
Sure.
But I thought, holy shit, I'm going to win. And I was like standing there. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And then this grown up was like, ah!
Oh my gosh. And 1.2 so close.
Oh, it was so fantastic. And then I had a watch party.
Yeah.
So I filmed in January of 22.
Okay.
But it didn't air until August.
Okay.
And I had a big watch party at Wings and Rings, which I saw. We have a Wings and Rings around the corner.
Heck yes.
Love Wings and Rings. I had a big watch party. And to stand in the room with like 75 people that I love and know what's coming and watch that score as they pull her score back and like watch the room just erupt was just the best. Like it was so much to see it, all the people I had and my friends and my family and just and then be like, I got a $20,000 check. Like that was pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what that feels like too. I was like, if anyone out there wants to give me a $20,000 check, I'm just curious to see what it feels like.
Well, then it was funny because as a self-employed person, I had to pay my quarterly taxes.
Oh.
So 2 days after I got my check, I sent Uncle Sam half.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, so it's about 11,000 after
exactly.
this. Yeah.
I was like,
that's still pretty good. Yeah.
Still.
Hey, listen, it's a big number still.
It was a good time.
That's so cool.
It was the best. Guy was amazing. I got to pet his dog. And
I love that.
So fun.
One of the things I like the most about him I've never met him, but everyone I know that has worked with him at any time always has like the nicest things to say about him. Oh. And he seems just like a genuinely cool guy that's just on board for whatever.
Yeah. He pulled in and we heard him pull in. We were all in our trailers.
Sure.
And we heard this rumble. And he has a Smokey and the Bandit, original Smokey and the Bandit car.
Okay,
and
that's
he
hilarious.
was like, yeah, I told my car guy, like, I'd love to have this. And he's like, 2 days later, he like shows up with it. And he's like, well, I spent too much money on it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's all life is once you hit that level of success. So you're just like, you know what thing I always wanted when I was 7? I can have it now, right?
Exactly. And he does. But he was so kind and so generous and so sweet. And like the whole crew was amazing. And my friend, like my contestants were friends,
that's so amazing.
It was really fun.
How long is that process really? Were you there for like just a couple days? Oh, yeah. This is my favorite part of behind the scenes.
Flew in one day,
Okay.
worked one day, flew out the next day.
Okay.
And it was north of San Francisco, like a long way north of San
Sure.
Francisco. But I was up at 6 a.m. and I did not get back to my hotel until 7 p.m. And they shot 2 episodes in one day. And
wow.
we were taping interviews while the other one started. But
Sure.
I mean, they probably didn't get back until midnight.
Oh, wow.
So it
Crazy.
was a long day.
Yeah. But that's kind of the fun part about being on set too. I always kind of like that.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
I haven't been on like a game show like that before, but like even on the commercial stuff I've done, it's like it's kind of exciting. And you get a good amount of downtime in between too.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I don't know if you're like me at all. I thrive in those moments so much. I always think it's, this is always funny to me, and maybe I'll cut this out, but maybe I won't, because I always like being a little snarky. But one of the things that always cracks me up whenever I'm on a set is when you meet other people who, I look at anytime I get to work for like a brand or do a commercial or a film or anything like that, the whole time I'm just like I'm elated, right? I'm just like, finally, I have a grasp on my dreams and we're hanging out today. But without fail, there's always one cast member who's like, ugh, we got to wait 2 hours here. I'm like, first off, did you see how much they're paying us? Second, that people would literally would kill both of us to have an opportunity to do this, and you're here complaining. They're about to feed us whatever you want. Like, it sounds like the greatest day ever. I've never had my ass kissed more in my life than I have on some of these sets.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, these people don't even know me,
It was so much fun just to be there and watch the whole process. And as someone, like, I was a journalism major.
Yeah.
And I did communication studies. So I sort of did in front of the camera, behind the camera.
That's awesome.
And so to see how it all works, and like even just the cameras on the grocery carts and how they filmed us ahead of time before a guy got there and then during the day, and like just everybody. And then last summer I got to film a show for A&E called Best in Chow.
Oh, cool.
And they go around to fairs and crazy places and do like crazy foods.
That sounds incredible.
And oh my God, Matt Hooper, I think it's Hooper. He's going to kill me. He's the host. He's a comedian and he's so funny. And like, I got to hang out with him and we got to make this like crazy pork loin sandwich at the Ohio State Fair.
That sounds incredible.
And like, again, just to be in that process and have like the cameras on you and I'm such a spaz.
Yeah.
Like I sing the whole time and dance in my head. So I literally don't stop moving. I'm like, like that's what's happening. This wall is what's happening in my brain when I'm shooting.
Same.
But it's the most fun. It's like, I just feel like I'm home. Like it's just, it's the best feeling ever. Like I want to do it every day.
You come to life. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get it. And I love that. And
it was fun because the producer on that, at the end of the day, at the end of our day, they came out and they were like, you're the best one we've had all season. They're like, you just light up. They're like, you were so good. And I was like, I know. I'm such an egotistical bitch, but I loved it. I want to be on TV so bad. I want to be a star.
Right.
But
You are a star.
I looked up, I Googled one of my friends, Amy Curtis. Love you, Amy. She told me yesterday, she was like, Google food hussy. And it comes up and it says internet personality. And I was like, ooh, I'm an internet personality.
That's really cool. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad you took the time to do this.
I know I had to take the time out of my day to drive to Fairfield.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Look, next time I'll get the studio built in Eastgate. It'll be a little closer to home for both of us.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love coming out and meeting people, and I love jungle gyms.
Oh my gosh. It's like,
seriously?
how can you not, right?
Yeah, exactly. When I moved to Cincinnati, it was the first thing I did.
Oh, no kidding.
It was literally like I'm sitting in my apartment with no furniture and just my cats at the time. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I was like, Googling shit to do in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a crazy grocery store. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
And that was literally the first thing I did in
the
Cincinnati.
gateway drug into enjoying this town. That's awesome. What do you have anything that you come here for more often than anything else? Or besides the energy
it's
in the
usually
room?
weird shit. Like, I love king crab.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
And so, like, I come here to get it. Or, like, I wanted to make ceviche.
Yeah.
And I didn't want, like, Kroger fish. Not like there's anything wrong with Kroger. Sorry. But
I'll bleep it out.
they
It's
don't
fine.
pay me.
Right, exactly.
Neither does Jungle Gyms.
Yeah, but we're nicer right now.
But, like, I was like, I wanted fresh fish. And it's like, if I want fresh fish, I'm going to go to the place that I know has like fish swimming,
right?
Exactly. And I asked, and I knew you guys would know, like the ding dong at the seafood counter there is not going to know what to do. And I was like, asked your seafood guy, like, hey, I need to make ceviche. What the hell should I use?
Right. And
he was like, well, this or this or this. And same with crazy, weird cheeses.
Yeah.
I had to do a project one time with a brand that wanted me to do a cheese pairing.
Yeah.
Cheese and beer. And I was like, so I was like, hey, what cheeses should I, they're just knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And they have everything.
Yeah.
And same with I went to Costa Rica this summer, so I'm like, ooh, I want to try something, or I found Topo Chico when I was in Texas. And so I was like, oh, I know Jungle Jim's, I'll have my Topo Chico.
For sure.
And now it's like more widespread, but it wasn't
but now
for
we
a
have
while.
all the fun flavors too. I just discovered
love
those
Topo
recently.
Chico lime.
I had a friend in recently, and she was like, we're buying a bunch they were going to someone's wedding, and they were like, do you know where we can get that? I don't think they were from, I don't remember the whole details of it, but they were trying hard to find a bunch of the Topo Chico flavors and literally cleaned us out last week of like the grapefruit and the lime. I was like, I didn't even know we had them. Like, I didn't even know they existed. I was classic sparkling, right? And then now I'm like, oh.
And the beers and the wine, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, it's like if you need something weird, you can get it here.
Yeah.
And so
if not, we have weird employees to help you with it.
Yeah.
So they're good weirdos.
It's just, it's a little overwhelming to shop like regular grocery shopping.
Yeah.
But like, it's like if I need something crazy or if I want to try something new or like, I made a bucket list for my 50th year on the planet. Yeah. And one of it was like to try weird shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to go to Jungle Jim someday and just try weird, pick weird shit I've never heard of and try it.
Cool.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Oh, now I feel like I got to make something up for you. And just like, here's a couple of my favorite strange finds.
Yes, you can take me, you can show me.
Yeah, well, maybe that's a follow-up episode. We'll just do that.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Please.
Let's talk a little bit about the cookbook here. As a, how should I say, office air fryer guy, that's my favorite. Well, it's not my favorite part of the office, but it's in the top 5. It's on the Mount Rushmore of favorite things about my office. But it's called the I Love My Air Fryer Cooking for One recipe book. How did this all come down?
Well, my friend Stephanie got offered this cookbook, and it wasn't a lot of money. It was decent money, but for her, it was like a drop. She was like, no, thank you.
I'm trying to get there in my career.
I would love to be there.
Yeah.
But she was like, but I have a peon friend. No, she didn't say that. She said, I have a friend that would probably be interested. So she approached me. And God, I hope Stephanie doesn't hate me.
Are we both those people in our friends' lives that say it in a funny way? And then we're like, I hope they suddenly, I hope they still remember who I am as a person.
I'm coming to your house in 3 weeks. Don't hate me. But she, it's just like, you have to do what makes sense in your ROI world. And so it's like, this doesn't make sense for me. But she's like, I got a person it does make sense for.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've never had the dream to have a cookbook.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, it might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun. It was kind of not fun. It was 3 months of my life that I'll never get back. But it was all about air fryer. And the thing is this publisher, they're wonderful to work with. Yeah. They have a series of cookbooks, so they kind of have a way. So you're just, cool. I don't have to market this. I didn't have to do the photography. It was more like, here, we need you to come up with the recipes.
Yeah.
And then your name is on it. I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got paid and I'll get residuals and like,
sweet.
Good to me.
Passive income. Let's go.
I still have a book on my counter that says Heather Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'll keep saying
that.
Food Hussy.
And they came up, like they had the chapters. So, and it's, I was able to use a lot of recipes from my blog, which helped.
Sure.
But they had the chapters, and like the vegetarian chapter was not my favorite to make. But I got through it. Actually, I made some really good stuff. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty darn tasty.
I'm flipping through a lot of these, and I honestly think, so one of the things I wouldn't say I complain about on the show, because I try not to be a complainer in general, but I love doing cooking demos, and there's just not a lot of places in here for me to actually have full access. So every time I have an idea, I'm like, can I make it in the air fryer or in like a bowl of boiling water? I kind of feel like I should just make some of these on the show.
Yeah, I
flipped through a couple already. Like the Dijon Parmesan potatoes sound delicious. What did I just see a second ago? The no yeast dinner biscuit sounds like simple, but I would love to make bread in an air fryer.
The funniest thing was I made those, and I was I have a very good relationship with Local 12 here in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Bob and Sheila and Jen, like they're my people.
Yeah.
Bob and I are kind of twinnies. Like
Bob Herzog's like the best.
We're both spazzes, and that's why we get along so well. And, they're just the kindest people too. Yeah. But
Sheila Gray, by the way, is I think she's like the only person that follows me on Twitter that engages with my posts ever. And I love her so much for it. I'm like, Sheila, we barely know each other outside of these things, but I love you for supporting me.
She is a special human being.
Really, truly, the whole team there. And by the way,
they are. I love Fox too. I've been there.
Of course, everyone's been really good to me, but they've taken it outside of the office and they've been kind to me in my personal life.
But I made their new anchor. I think it's Aaliyah.
Aaliyah's great too. Yeah,
I made the biscuits, and she was like, she had a look on her face because she is Southern, and she was like, "You're making biscuits in an air fryer."
Yeah,
and she came over after the segment was off, and she's like, "I need to try this," and she was like, shocked at how good it was. She was like, okay, this is actually good. I was like, I told you. And she was like, okay, I'm a believer.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's that thing too, where I think people think of, well, we were kind of joking about this off air, where people kind of think of the air fryer as like, what if the microwave was better, right? And I think that's like a kind of an improper way. What I always said when they first popped off, and is why it took me a while to buy one, is I was just like, oh, you just mean a convection oven got a good PR team,
yes,
right? And it's like, oh, what?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So it's really nothing insane. Like when you see these recipes, don't balk
same
at
with
like
the Instant Pot. It's just a pressure cooker that my dad used when I was a kid.
Yeah, with buttons on the front. That's the difference.
I had an Instant Pot and I threw it away because it was like too confusing. And it was like, oh, it only takes 5 minutes. No, it takes 10 to heat up, 10 to cool down. I hate this.
Right, exactly.
Threw it away.
Yep.
But Stephanie introduced, she's like, you should try to like do niches of content. And she's like, you should get an air fryer. She's like, I have one and it's amazing. And I got it and I was like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. And now I use it to cook everything. Like I use my air fryer every single day. I think it's the best way to cook a lot of foods. Like a chicken breast, those pre-marinated chicken breasts, throw it in there for 12 minutes.
Done. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's juicy. It doesn't dry out. Like, it's just amazing. Steak, I make steak. I mean, like, literally, I make...
Steak is one I'm always curious about because I'm like a bit of an obnoxious purist in that, where I'm like, cast iron only right now, you know? But at the same time, I think it might be my own ignorance. I think I'm doing the thing I just told everybody not to do.
I love it.
Really?
I make steak in it, and it's like, my air fryer tip, if I can bestow any knowledge and wisdom.
Please. That's what we're here for.
Undercook everything. You can always add time, but you cannot unburn.
That is true.
You can make a rare steak medium rare. You can't make a well done steak medium rare.
Edible.
So I think that's the thing, is like, it just got me out of my comfort zone. And I was like, I had to come up with 175 recipes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, well, what else can I do here? And a lot of it is things that I think, okay, well, I've done them in the oven.
Yeah.
How can I just do it in the air fryer? All it is the same temperature half the time.
Right.
Like, so it was like taking oven recipe, like the Dijon potatoes.
Yeah.
They were an oven recipe that I just made for the air fryer. And I was like, oh, half the time. Sounds good to me.
By the way, I'm looking through the vegetable section now that I know you just admittedly were like, oh, it's not my favorite, but these all sound delicious too.
They were. I have to say they were. The thing that surprises people.
Tandoori potato skewers? Maybe.
Those were good. But the thing that surprises people the most is also the dessert section. They're shocked at how many things and that you can bake in it.
Yeah.
The only thing I've found that is harder is like a batter. I might have had a bad experience with a batter. I had it in there and the air circulating
just
splattered batter around my entire air fryer. So, but it's like if your pan is deeper than your batter, like for cakes, you're fine. You just can't have it up to the rim.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was sitting there wondering, I was like, fried sandwich cookies. Okay, I'm into this.
Yes, we can't call them Oreos. They are sandwich cookies.
The Bisco actually just is at your house right now. The dogs are barking.
That doesn't ever stop. They hate bark.
I was wondering about this though, because as soon as I saw that there was a batter on it, I was like, how does that work?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Sometimes, and it's, testing and trying things out and seeing how it works. And
banana cake. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you.
It's
just
so
reading
good.
Your book. I just want people to buy this book too.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
It is very cool. Cookie cheesecake.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Do you have a favorite recipe in here in general? I mean, I know that's hard, but then again, if I had children, I could definitely tell you who the favorite was. I'm being honest.
I have cats.
Parents are just lying about that. They're like, I don't have a favorite. I love my kids equally. Sure you do. Okay.
I have cats and my favorite is George. And they can't understand English. So George, I love you the most. I don't have a favorite dog though, but I do have a favorite cat.
See?
George, I call him Georgina Josefina Senorita.
See?
Which is very emasculine to a male cat, but he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Yeah, no.
My favorite recipe is the blueberry cheesecake bread pudding.
Okay.
Because bread pudding is something
blueberry cheesecake bread pudding. Oh my God.
Is stupid easy to make. And yet when you're in a restaurant, it seems oh so fancy.
Right.
It's just bread that you cube up and then you mix like a scrambled egg batter and you pour it in, or French toast batter.
Right.
Pour it in there. And then I just stuck in like little pieces of cream cheese and little pieces of blueberry.
You're like, heat it up.
And then stick it in the air fryer. And then
you put this in the ramekin to cook it in?
Yeah. And then sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top. And I made that when the cookbook came out. I made that on TV a lot. And everybody's like, oh my God, that's delicious. So fancy. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm like, I know. And it's easy. And you can use bread. You can use croissants. You can use donuts.
Yeah.
Like I make donut bread pudding. And so forgiving. You don't like blueberries? Throw in some peaches. Like, it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I love that. Customize. If you're not a fan of blueberries, I'm like, oh, raspberries would be
You've
killer.
read my blog. Thank
Yes,
you.
right. Yeah. I read it in my voice, though, which is frustrating.
That's probably my favorite recipe.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds incredible.
And it's
I mean,
delicious.
honestly, all of these sound really good.
And this book made me eat a banana for the first time in my whole life.
Okay, wait. Hold on. You're here with the Banana Bunch. You're now a member of the Banana Bunch, and you didn't eat bananas before this? I feel like that should have been in our first email.
I think they are vile.
Really?
They smell.
I love this.
They smell.
I'm here for hot banana
and
takes.
the texture is just. I can't. I like banana cake. I like banana bread.
Sure.
I like banana pudding. But the second that there's a chunk of banana,
So
I'm out.
only is it like at all stages? Because I kind of agree with you on the textural end, which is why generally I eat greener bananas because they're a little but it doesn't
I don't
matter
even
in your
try.
world. Okay, no, that's okay.
Nope. But I made air fryer bananas, which you take a banana, slice it lengthways, and open up, and you just dump a shitload of brown sugar on it, and then you put it in the air fryer, and it melts it so much.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I ate a whole banana. I was like, holy crap, guys, I ate a banana. I was like, I ate a whole banana.
Achievement unlocked.
49 years old. Boom.
That's
I
awesome.
did it.
Hey,
So,
listen, we're breaking boundaries. That sounds really good. That's in here too.
Yep.
Listen, as a place that is, we're in an empire right now built atop banana peels. So, no. The fact that you ate one, that says a lot to us. So, hi, everyone. My favorite part of the show is waving to people because they're always watching.
But I do
Occasionally
love
can
banana
hear.
bread and
Yeah?
banana pudding and banana muffins
Oh,
and all
gosh.
that stuff. Banana
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
I just cannot.
I don't think I've ever had banana cake, weirdly enough, because I do enjoy bananas. I love banana bread. I love banana pudding almost too much.
But
And
if I was on Fear Factor and they handed me a banana, I'd be like, I'm out. Sorry.
can you imagine? That's like the opening. They're like, you can eat. You're like, no. I'll take the goat's penis.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Just don't make me eat a banana. It's so gross.
All right, I'm gonna make your Scotch eggs. I think that's gonna be
they're
the
so
first one.
good.
I love a Scotch egg in general.
And the avocado baked eggs, that always surprises
That sounded
people.
really good too, yeah.
You just scoop out the center of the avocado a little bit more.
Right, and then you fill it with egg.
Stick the egg in, crack the egg in there and throw it in, and candied bacon. That I learned, so I focus on my blog is copycat recipes, like
Sure.
restaurant copycats.
Very cool.
Air fryer, and then Traeger a lot, the
Yeah.
smoker, and then I just got a Blackstone, so
Sweet.
I've been doing that as well. And so the
Country hibachi, as it were.
hillbilly hibachi,
Yeah,
right here from the Food Hussy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I started my copycat stuff, and there's a restaurant down in Gulf Shores, which is my absolute favorite place on earth. And it's Ruby Slipper, which they're in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
But they have pig candy. And it's bacon with just a shit ton of brown sugar on
Yeah,
top.
sounds good.
And other stuff. But it's so good. And you can make it in the air fryer.
See, I love that. Well, cool. Well, after this episode's done, I have a feeling I'm going shopping.
Let's go gain some weight. Let's go shopping.
Yeah, I'm like the thing is, thankfully, this store is insanely huge because otherwise I think I'd be out of control in the weight. But also, you mentioned the marinated chicken breast too. That's been like one of the things to help keep me kind of in line and not balloon out of control here is that we do carry stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I can just throw a couple of these marinated breasts or some wings occasionally we'll have in there.
Oh, yeah.
But now I want to try this. There's this one steak that they marinate. It only comes in occasionally. It's like listed as like burgundy seasoning. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that means, but it tastes good every time, and I don't care. But now I'm like, maybe I'm going to try that in the air fryer. So.
Oh, I love a ribeye in the air fryer is just delicious.
That sounds good. I mean, it's like that thing where, again, like I said, I was like, any of my preconceptions are on. That's on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's really convenient, and I have these contractors at my house, and there's a couple of them that are married, and then half are like single young guys. And I was like, "You guys got air fryers?" And they're like, "Of course we do." And I was like, "Here you go, here you go, here you go."
Yeah,
because it gets people out of their comfort zone of like, it does more than frozen pizza and tater tots.
Right.
Please.
I mean, it is
Try
good to those two.
something.
Yeah, for real. And I got to say, too, just casually flipping through this, I mean, first off, every recipe is a page long, so it's not hard. I mean, like, just a casual glance at this, there's steps that are very simple. It's like, get a dish, put things in the dish, put it in your air fryer. I mean, like, there's a little more to it, but not dramatically
Sometimes I do
more.
recipes for the air fryer. I just did air fryer waffle fries, and I'm like, this is the dumbest recipe ever.
Yeah.
Open bag. Put in air fryer.
Yeah.
Shut air fryer. Start air fryer. Like, how many steps can I make out of this?
Reminds me of this comedian Brian Regan had a bit about if you needed microwave instructions for Pop-Tarts. He's like, put a microwave for 3 seconds. He's like, listen, if you're trying to save that much time, Also, I just stopped on peach jam breakfast pie. You've combined words that I didn't know were possible to combine here in the meantime.
Well, that was one of those, it was like, I kept thinking of like the Amish hand pies.
Yeah.
Or the Hostess pies.
Sure.
And I was like, how can I do this? But the other thing that's key with this is it's cooking for one.
Yeah.
So they told me, like, I can't make things that make a bunch.
Yeah.
So I couldn't use crescent dough or something like that. I had to use bread. Because I was like, I got to use, because I'm not going to give you a book that says, okay, open up a can of the biscuits and use one.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do with the other 4? Like,
Right.
that's dumb. So I tried to find ways to, like, okay, we're going to use a piece of bread and, like, roll it out with a rolling pin.
Right.
And use that as our dough instead of one biscuit. Like, and who, those cans of 5 biscuits.
Yeah.
I eat all 5.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I at least hit 2 fresh, and then the other 3 sit on the counter, and I'm like, oh, I'll save those for later, and then 8 minutes elapses.
Exactly. I was going to say, you can. You can save it for later.
Oh, no. I just tell myself I'm good at that. I'm like, no,
Like,
you did good today, Mark.
A box of Kraft macaroni and cheese is a serving of one.
That's why they call it Kraft dinner everywhere else in the world, okay?
I set it aside, I eat half a bowl, and I put it on the counter, and then I'm just like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm still hungry. And I like it even a little cool. I was like, oh, I gotta eat.
It is kind of funny though that at a weird note, like as I'd say we were like foodie people, right? Like that there is still a lot of enjoyment derived from those kinds of things. And more importantly, you hit on something that I don't think gets discussed enough in the mac and cheese game, which is that it's great hot, but it is also good as it starts to hit that like kind of just above room temp thing where you're like,
that is my favorite.
Yeah, it's like 2 different products.
Yes.
If I had better impulse control, I would be able to ration it better and be like, Mark, you want a little of the hot and you want a little of the mid.
And I like the cold in the morning too. Like if
Oh,
I
yeah.
get to the point where I've just burst my belly, because also I'm single. So, and when I make stuff for my blog, if I'm making pork chops, then my dinner is pork chops. Like there's no vegetable, there's no potatoes, if I'm making grape salad, then my whole dinner is grape salad.
Yeah.
And so if I'm having macaroni and cheese, that's all I have.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if I've, splurge during the day, I will have a little bit left for breakfast.
Sure.
Oh, it's so, and I'm not afraid to admit, as if I am a foodie, but Blue Box, still my favorite.
There's that weird thing every so often. I'm trying to think of another good example too, but that is a thing where you're like, yeah, you can appreciate the high end stuff, but there's also room for look, it's successful for a reason, right?
Yes.
It's
and
just
like do I love amazing, real, heavy, sturdy cheeses? Of course I do. But you know what I love more? Land O'Lakes American.
I was just thinking that there's been a discussion in my personal life on and off over the last couple of years about how relevant American cheese can be. In a world where I love fancy cheeses most, I'm still just like, every so often, I just want a slice of American on here. It just makes sense. It's just
the best for grilled cheese.
Yeah,
it's the best on a cheeseburger. Like, I'm sorry.
I know.
My ex-husband introduced me to it in between heroin and fentanyl.
I'm glad the good one stuck.
He was like, I brought home, he wanted American cheese, and I brought home the other grocery store. I brought home their cheese. He goes, he took one bite. He goes, that's not Land O'Lakes. I was like, how do you know? He's like Sheldon Cooper with the cheese.
Yeah, I don't think even I could tell the difference, but now I want to find out.
He knew. He was like, and he knew butternut bread and Land O'Lakes American cheese and Conn's bologna. That was his food group.
That's the trio.
Yeah. But he was like, that's not Land O'Lakes. And once I tried Land O'Lakes, I was like, you are right.
Yeah. See, I know normally I'm a Boar's Head when I go, but at the same time, Land O'Lakes was always a banger until Boar's Head really kind of usurped the throne for me. Because I just wanted something a little creamy, a little salty. I don't need it to be its own personality. I remember a few years ago, with one of the low carb things, there was a good amount of cheddar that got introduced to my diet. Now I love cheddar, right? I love these better cheeses. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to eat cheddar ever again. I've had so much of it in this month. And then I remember telling a friend of mine, and she's like, what do you mean you prefer American on a cheeseburger? I'm like, listen, don't get it twisted. You can like whatever you want, and I'm not mad about it. But I also don't think I'm wrong about this being the ultimate cheese selection on there.
It's just, and I grew up on government cheese.
Yeah, so you know what's up.
Mark Wahlberg, government cheese.
Right, exactly.
That was what we grew up with.
We got a lot of cheese in this house, okay?
We had the 5-pound box. It was like, we were po.
Yeah.
We couldn't even afford the O and the R.
Right.
Like, we were po. I still, that's some comedian did that 30 years
I love
ago.
it. That's okay. It's been 30 years. Nobody knows how the internet works. It's fine. They're not going to
Sorry.
look it up. Yeah, we can't cancel you over that. Nor would I want to.
But
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
also the non-pickiest person. So I love that this made me get out and explore new foods
Hell yeah.
and like try new stuff. And the vegetarian, while it wasn't my favorite chapter to do, like I feel very proud and I can say everything in it was delicious.
Yeah.
And I worked hard to make it.
The recipe sounded great. Again, I know I'm just kind of casually thumbing through, but it's not like I'm not reading it. It's good. They all sounded great.
Good.
I'm excited. We're going to run this whole menu eventually.
And I like trying new stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm never one to. I ate chicken liver last night.
Yeah.
I only ate one. But I
Right.
tried it.
Yeah, that's why I try it every time someone's like, you got to try the chicken liver here. And every time I'm like, I just don't think that one's for me.
No.
But I get it. And I will say, I can tell shades of gray where I'm like, oh, this is definitely a good one of the thing I don't love.
Yeah.
You know, but I always like when that happens
Yeah.
too. You're like, oh, I
You're
hate
like, oh,
this.
this is good for this.
Yeah, exactly. For sewage water, you know, this is the
Oh
best
my gosh.
version.
What is the? Oh, there's like a goose liver. What is that?
Not the pate, but what am I thinking of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
It's not Braunschweiger, is it?
No,
the
it's
other one.
The fancy. That
Yeah,
it's like
foie gras.
Foie gras.
I was like, why can I not think of the word?
The restaurant. It was downtown in the little like it looks like a Airstream. Like it's down. It's been a bunch of different things.
Yeah. It's like I think it's Sugar and Spice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like some fancy bullshit a while back, years ago, 15 years ago.
It changed so many times. I was like, this place.
They were open for 3 months.
Right.
But they did a peanut butter and jelly foie gras. I nearly vomited at the table. Like, you can try to be fancy, but sometimes just don't.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like, even I can't imagine that working in my head at all.
It did not.
Yeah.
No, it did not work.
Wow.
But I like trying random weird
Sure,
shit.
same.
Which is why I love Jungle Gyms, because every aisle has random weird shit.
Look at that. Bringing it back to the plug. Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate you.
All comes around.
That's amazing. Well, what's next for you?
Work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any shows. I don't have any cookbooks coming. Like, it's mostly just like, I need to conquer the world.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm having my best month. Financially, I'm having my best month ever. And my Blackstone, I bought it last Black Friday, and they had a very traumatic breakup that nearly tossed me into a mental institution. And again, but I came back. Weeble. Boing,
Weeble,
I'm
yeah,
right
exactly,
here.
right.
And I had this Blackstone, and I bought it Black Friday. And I was like, when I turned 50, I was like, God damn it, I'm taking it out of the box.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to take it out. And now I took it out of the box, and I've made smash burgers. I've made pancakes. Bacon. I just did pork chops on it.
Awesome.
And now I want to like get all in. Hibachi rice, and hibachi is
Let's
my
go.
next thing.
I'll be right over.
Okay, come on. But those
I'll bring
smash
something
burgers,
weird. Yeah.
the smash burgers are the shit.
I bet. Yeah.
But it's fun. I like finding the little tips and tricks along the way of when I'm cooking. Like the smash burger, I found it on somebody else's, and then I tried 3 different things to smash with, and then I tried it. Somebody said to put those air fryer parchment paper liners under the smasher.
Okay.
Between that and the burger,
Yeah.
because then the burger doesn't stick to the smasher.
Oh, that makes perfect
and I was
sense,
like,
yeah.
this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's finding those little tips and tricks that I like
Yeah.
to share with people, and I love when people comment and they're like, "This is the best dish ever," and I was like, "I know." Such.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
it's
Well,
fun.
so I know obviously thefoodhussy.com, good place
Yes.
to follow you. Is that the same title for all the social handles too?
My socials all Food Hussy.
Just at Food Hussy.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I lost the URL to Food Hussy. So I'm a
It's fine.
dingbat,
Yeah, jokes
but
on
no,
them.
I'm going to Destin to visit my plain chicken, and I'm going to Iowa again this summer or
that's
this
so
fall. I'm a Vikings fan. Sorry,
Oh.
Bengals. I'm not from here. I don't
That's
have
okay.
to like
Yeah,
the
no,
Bengals.
exactly.
I'm used to teams that disappoint you every single year, as denounced by my 0-3 Vikings. Number 1 quarterback in the league, number 1 receiver in the league, and we're 0-3. But I'm going to the Viking Bengals game, and I have 5th row tickets.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, I
So
bet that's going to be
excited.
amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so
Oh my gosh,
excited.
that's so cool.
I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to hang out with my dogs and cook and work and find weird shit at Jungle Gyms.
I love it. Well, I hope you find everything. Hopefully, maybe we can help. And I'm excited. I'm being dead serious. I think I'm going to make a bunch of stuff on this, and we'll do it on the show, and I'll
Yes.
plug in all that fun stuff.
And I'm single, so if anybody wants a 50-year-old that makes a lot of food and has some money.
Yeah, I mean, like that sounds like the dream, right? I'm like, so wait, what I'm hearing is self-sufficient.
I don't need your money.
Yeah.
I just
and
need you to have a job and not do drugs. It's really, I have
just a-
very high standards.
I think it's kind of nice. In the modern world, the bar is set incredibly low, and it is impressive to me how many people are unable to still lazily flop over said bar. Like, oh, decency. If you can provide that, I'm very interested. I will spend all of my money and time on you. She knows.
I'm in therapy, and my therapist was like, okay, how many times are we going to let someone disrespect us? And I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
And
weekly.
and she was like, Heather, the answer is 0. I was like, well, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
She was like, are we going to deal with anybody that has a criminal record? I was like, okay, no felonies. She's like, Heather. And I was like, you never want me to get laid again.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever.
You're the therapist. Help me through this. Okay, I'm supposed to have the bad takes right now. You help massage them into good takes.
So, yeah. So that's my life. Is
That's
looking for
amazing.
a man and cooking food. All I do.
Oh
Very
my gosh.
sad.
No, that's not sad at all. It's fun. Listen, own it. Weeble, bounce back. You're good. I believe in it. Heather, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't wait to the future of whatever we can do
I know
together.
I want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
I want to hang out more.
Anytime. I'm here more often than you would like.
I bought my car in Fairfield, so I have to come back every once in a while.
Anytime you're
for
getting
oil
some work
changes.
done. Yeah, when you get
Yeah.
your oil change, come on over. We'll do lunch or something. We'll make something like that. That'd be great. Actually, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to be a hussy too. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to making some of that stuff together. I think we should do it. Hey, and those of you, if there's a recipe that we mentioned in the show that you think you'd like to see us make sooner than later, let me know either in the comments here or send me an email at podcast@junglegyms.com. So, one more reminder, get those International Wine Festival tickets coming up. It's like in 2 weeks. November 11th, baby. It's going to be awesome. The monorail's going to run, weather permitting. It should be fun. Both of our event centers here at Fairfield are going to be open for it. And this is a great one. If you're one of those people who's like, I only go to Eastgate, totally fine. But we even offer a bus shuttle service that you can purchase with your tickets. Pretty cool, right? All right, everyone. On that, I got some arancini and egg roll hiding out back here for me to eat. So I will see you out there in the aisles. The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.